Morneau, driver of the number 30 Liuna APC late model for Casey Cash Racing, and you're watching ONTrack Weekly.
Everybody, welcome in. ONTrack Weekly here for April 15th. Yes, that means we're only a couple weeks away, officially under 1 month now until we go green in Ontario. Thank you to Ray Morneau for that beautiful intro. Taking a look at his number 30 Liuna APC late model, and we've decided to put both of his rides because they're good looking cars this year, as always with Ray Morneau's team. Got his weekly ride here for Delaware late model action, the Dutch brothers on there, JR Excavating, Tormont Cat. He's got some loyal partners there on that 03, and this one I absolutely love the way that this car looks. And it's great to see. It means more and more rides are going to come out for the 2024 season. Paul Pepper released his look for his Super Stock out at Sunset Speedway as well. Ethan Mallon with his junior late model was released. So we're going to continue to see more and more of those. Imagedrops.ca, good ride for Jade Franklin. That was shown off at the Two Speed Motorsports opening. So lots of great looking stuff already this season. Lots of great looking cars. And we haven't even gotten started really on the releases of how cars are going to look. I mean, there is so many still to come for 2024. You've got OSS rides. You have NASCAR Canada Series rides. A lot of those have not been released yet on what they're going to look like. A lot more APC Pro late models out there. We really haven't gotten a ton of looks out there yet. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We've got a busy show. We've got 4 interviews on tap for you tonight. Nathan Detweiler from Full Throttle Motor Speedway. He'll chat with us about NA Racing, his team, and we'll talk about some other stuff happening up at Varney this year, what Paul's done for the racers up there, and it's looking to be a great season up at Full Throttle. Sunset Speedway, Billy Zardo not confirmed to be doing a full-time effort this year. He's not going to be doing that, but what is he going to be up to this year? So we'll talk with Billy about his newfound fathership and how great that's been working for him, and talk about maybe what's in the plans for Zardo Racing this year, and we'll also talk about the Memorial races set in stone right now for Grandpa Bill, and we'll go down some memory lanes there with Billy Zardo. Talk with Connor Ellis about the JRS Auctions Oscar Hot Rod Series this year. Connor's going to have a new look to that number 48 this year. We'll hear about what he's got in stock at CTE Racing. And we'll start it off, I think, with one of the best stories of 2024 so far. We're having comebacks galore, and Steve McCaw was one of those. Nick Ramsey and Austin Penny. And Austin Penny, a racer that has been in the Superstock division out at Flamborough Speedway. This year, they're not going to be heading over to Flamborough. In fact, they're going to Delaware this year to compete. And so we'll be able to chat a little bit with Austin Penny and hear about how everything's going with him. And I just want to thank everybody that was a part of the show today. And we'll see definitely what they can do out on the racetrack this year. But for a lot of these guys, those three that I just mentioned, I think just being out there is a win. And let's get started here. We'll see what we got on top. Hopefully, I select the right one right off the start. But let's hear from Austin Penny and see what he's got going on for the 2024 season. All right, so here on OnTrack Weekly, we're privileged to welcome back, and not just welcome on for an interview, but welcome back to racing, Austin Penny, who's joining us. Austin, how's it feel? You're coming back racing in 2024.
Yeah, obviously it feels pretty good. Just to get back racing because obviously last year with the whole cancer stuff and all that, I had to unfortunately take it off, which sucked, especially because the year before I think we were coming off a pretty, I don't know, I guess a semi-successful year, but we were looking to really turn it up a notch last year, and then obviously that got derailed pretty heavily. But yeah, we're looking forward to this year. I mean, it sucks sitting out last year watching everybody race while I was sitting on the sidelines. So, but yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
So how are we feeling right now? You feeling in much better shape? You're ready to get going behind the wheel, obviously, but have you lost anything, do you think?
I've lost a ton of weight.
Ah, there you go.
I've trimmed down and all that, but yeah, I've been trying my best to get back into shape. Like we go for tons of walks. We've been working out, me and my wife. And then we got a little one, so been chasing her around the house and all that. That'll get you
Yes.
back in shape and all that. So yeah, so I'm just looking forward to it and see what we got. I mean, I have no idea what happens when we get there, right? So I mean, my arms aren't as strong as they used to be, but I'm sure we'll get back up to speed here pretty quickly. So
Well, and you last ran at Flamborough Speedway in the Super Stock division. Am I correct on that?
yeah, yep.
So the plan for this year, what's going on with Austin Penny Motorsports? Where are you guys headed, and what's the schedule looking like?
Yeah, so this year we are going to Delaware. Um, we've always wanted to run Delaware, but we just never thought it was like the right time. And then we're like, well, we got nothing really going for us this year, so we might as well just like let's just completely change it up. And then with how Flamborough Super Stocks went last year, and I haven't really heard too much about them this year, so
Mhm.
we decided we were like, let's go run Delaware. That's where my dad was racing when he raced in modifieds there. So I've always wanted to race there. So I was like, no better season to start than this one. So, but we are going to do the super stocks. But we're going to start off in the V8s just to kind of get back up to speed and all that. So, race with those guys, get up to speed. And then when we think we're there on speed wise and all that, then we'll make the jump back over to the super stock and play with those big boys.
Well, I mean, it's very possible as well. Heading over to the V8s, you might just fall in love with it right
Mhm.
away. Everybody that we've heard that's gone to V8 absolutely loves it. You've never done, I don't, have you ever done bracket racing before?
No, no, never.
So this is going to be a completely different scenario for you. And luckily, you've got some really good racers out in that division.
Yep.
Cody Coburn's out there. Doug Stewart, the veteran Dave Evison is in there. So getting started, how much do you think you're going to be in the doing the V8 stock? A couple weeks or a majority of the season, and then see how you're doing? Because the super stock division at Delaware is
Oh.
one of probably the best and most stacked divisions in all of Ontario.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're just more so just gonna take it like week to week kind of thing.
Week
See
to
how
week.
we, yeah, see how it plays out, and then eventually hop in there. I do want to do like the quick wicks
Yep.
at
Yep.
Delaware, and then I want to be there for in the super stocks for the big race there in September and all that. So
Well, and that's obviously a big step as well, coming back obviously from a year off and in the fields. Obviously, if Flamborough is not Delaware,
yeah.
right? They're a completely different. So have you raced Delaware previously? And are you going to go and do some testing?
No, I've never raced Delaware ever. So I've like I said, I've been there a ton. Pretty much grew up at Delaware.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're hoping to be out there for both practice days.
Okay.
To kind of shake the car down, see what we got, see what I got. I think that's the biggest question mark kind of right now. It's not what's in the car or what the car has. It's what I have in me to go out there and do 25 laps and all that after coming back from everything. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens, and I'm just excited to go out, see what happens, and go with the flow.
Now, you did talk about doing the Quick Wick series. Are you talking about doing the full tour or just the Delaware
Oh,
events?
yeah, just the Delaware. Yeah. Yeah.
For right now, at least, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just the Delaware ones. See what happens. So it's gonna be I don't know. We're just taking this season just kind of week by week, race by race, see what happens and go from there.
Who is it that you're looking forward to getting on the track with? Because that super stock division we talked about, V8 stocks are absolutely phenomenal in terms of
Yeah.
talent level. And the fact that you're going to be on, as by all accounts, we don't know 100% because there hasn't been an announcement yet, but by all accounts, you're going to be on Rogers Television every week on
Mhm.
Friday. So probably a new experience for you as well. I don't know if you've ever been on the live broadcasts, as they say. And switching things up a little bit too. I believe you're going to switch the number up this year.
Yeah.
Going to run a different number this year.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, Rogers TV, that's kind of cool. I mean, gets you out there and all that, and I like being interviewed. So I mean, anytime a Rogers TV camera comes in my face, I'll give him a good interview and all that. But I think back when I was racing go-karts, we had like one or two off like live TV events, and those were pretty cool and all that. And then obviously it helps with your sponsors. But guys, I'm looking forward would probably be like obviously the Nagys.
Yeah.
I'm even wearing their hats, so
Yeah.
like I think everybody in Ontario is right now. But
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, but I'm looking forward to those guys because obviously I raced with both of them in go karts, raced with both of them at Flamborough where they whooped my butt. Um, then obviously Justin Carlson, we've been
Yeah.
racing together since I think when I moved up to like the GTA area. So when I was 14, so it's been like 14 years. Me and him been racing against each other in go karts and race cars and all that. And yeah, I mean Lane Zardo if he comes, but who knows what he's doing. So, but yeah, racing up against all those big guys and all that, and just kind of seeing what we got. But we are switching my number to 37. So that was what my dad raced when he was a wee lad, and then I tried to be I don't know like switch my number up because I was like, oh, I don't want to be in my dad's shadow. But then again, it's like 37's our family number. So I raced
Yeah.
that in go-karting and all that, and we had good luck with it. And I know some people might not say, well, oh, numbers aren't going to bring you luck, but I'm a super superstitious guy. So if I can do one little thing to maybe change something, I'm going to do it.
So what would constitute a successful season for you? Obviously, getting out there is the biggest success that you definitely are
Mhm.
winning this year. Which obviously, you never know after a situation like what you went through last year. We talked about with Steve McCaw a couple weeks
Yep.
ago on our podcast. It's the same situation. You never know what the circumstances are going to be, especially when you're off with an illness. We talked with Nick Ramsey as well. Same thing. He's dealt
Yep.
with some illness issues, and the fact that you're just getting out there obviously is a win. But for yourself, we all have the competitive blood in us, right? All
Oh
race
yeah.
fans do, and all racers do. So, what to you will be a successful season?
I would just say getting out there and running with them. Because like our previous season before everything happened, we were having, I would say, a pretty crappy season where I like it. We did when the car and everything held together and we weren't breaking stuff or stuff was happening. We ran pretty well there at Flamborough, and I mean we were racing against like some tough competition. That was a year Zardo was there, Nagy was
Yeah.
there, Pinsino was there, and Collison obviously. So that was like pretty heavy competition to keep up with in the first place, with also like Randy Russell and all those guys.
Yes.
So so we kind of left on like a high note, but like a low note. So that we were really looking forward to last year. Last year didn't happen. So this year we're just really focused on like let's just go out there, let's just go have some fun. Whatever happens, happens. Let's just go out there, compete. Obviously, you want to go win, but yeah, we're just gonna go out there, try and have some fun. Bring back like the fun into racing because
Yeah.
I noticed like obviously last year wasn't fun, and then the year before that it was kind of like we were having fun, but you weren't having fun kind of stuff. And I just want to go out there this year and just have some fun. Go race Delaware. I mean, that's a legendary track right there in itself, right? And you're racing on Friday night, so
Who's somebody that we need to be pay attention to this year across Ontario racing? You've got an opportunity to see a lot of racing this last couple of years. So who's a name? Obviously, we talked about the Nagys. They're up there. I'm just excited to see the brother battle this year for the
yeah,
championship. That's what I'm really excited about.
yeah.
But Who's somebody that we race fans should be paying attention to?
Yeah, we should probably stop talking about the Nagys. Everybody talks about them, so they're just getting plugged everywhere without them
Yep.
even knowing. So, but I don't know. I'm really excited to see Colton Evernham back.
Yeah.
I know he went out, tried the late models and all that, but especially because he's got his old car back that he won the championship in and all that, I think he's gonna be pretty dangerous wherever he races, right? So I know hopefully we were talking and we're looking forward to racing each other a couple times. So I really hope that he makes the trip down to Delaware and gives us a run for our money. But and then I gotta say
Yeah.
Justin Carlson. I think he's going to be really good in his old man's car there. So because he raced, I think a couple of times last year
Not,
in
yeah.
Brad's car, and he was pretty stout there for the couple times he did. So
Yes, he was. We obviously want to give an opportunity. We do this on the Stickers and Scuffs podcast, but I want to do it here on OnTrack Weekly as well because racing in Ontario is a very difficult thing to do. And racing in general nowadays has been very difficult to do. But you have loyal people behind you that allow you to go out and race thanks to their partnerships and thanks to their hard work. So this is your opportunity to give a thank you and shout out those people, the partners, and those who are in your racing circle that allow you to go racing each and every week.
yeah, well, I got to obviously thank my dad. That's a huge one right there, right? So he's done a ton, and he's all sacrificed a ton just to get me out there racing, and then my brother when he raced the odd time with his mini stock and all that. And then I got to thank my mom. Everybody's got to thank their mom, right? So
Yes.
got to thank the wife too. The wife lets
Yes.
me spend the money and go out there and have some fun while she's at home with the baby and all that. But for sponsors wise, we're actually having a hard time trying to get some. So I understand obviously some of the economy stuff gets into it and all that, but the only sponsor we got it would be Edgar Excavating. So I got to thank them. That's my brother-in-law who owns an excavation company down in London. So I got to thank them. But other than that, it's a pretty extremely short list. So, but so
Hey, it doesn't matter how many you have, just as long as you've got
yep,
somebody, right? And
exactly. Yeah. So
that's
we're always
exactly it.
still actively looking and all that to see who wants to jump on board the team this year because I think we got something special and all that. So yeah, we'll just see what happens and we'll go with the flow and take it like I said before, like week by week and just go out and have some fun.
Well, I just want to take the time and say we're glad to have you back, Austin, as part of the racing community, and glad to see you back out on the racetrack. And as our podcast as well, Stickers and Scuffs, we're glad to have you repping us this year. It's
Yeah.
really cool to have some racers from all over, and especially out of Delaware. So we'll be definitely watching you all season long. How can people follow along with you guys on social media?
Yeah, so we just have the Facebook account called Penny Motorsports. So you could go like that and all that. Which I mean, actually, the last couple of weeks, the group's been kind of taken off a little bit. We've been trying. I've noticed, obviously, the what you need to do on the social media to start taking off, and how you can take off just by being socially active and all that. So yeah, so Penny Motorsports on Facebook. That's Penny with an E.
Yes,
EY. So,
yes, that's right.
yeah.
Penny
So
with an E.
yeah, we had to change it up. So couldn't be the currency. We had to be kind of something different.
Had to be unique.
Yeah, exactly.
That is Austin Penny here on OnTrack Weekly. Best of luck this season, Austin. Hopefully, we'll do some interviews at the track.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
So, a guy like Austin Penny, getting out on the racetrack, that is a win for him this year, and it's awesome to hear that he's going to be back and going to give it a run out at Delaware Speedway in one of the stacked Superstock divisions across the province, and hoping to get into some quick Superstock races as well. It's a great job, and I like the plan that he's got. Going slow, gonna maybe try some V8 stock races first before getting right into the Superstocks. I like that plan. I think it's no sense getting out there when you're not sure what to expect and you want to shake things down. And this is a great opportunity for him, and I like that he's following. He's got racers that he's familiar with and he's good buddies with, and Justin Collison. I'm also excited to see Justin get back behind the wheel. He wasn't in the season. He wasn't in the seat full time last year, so it'd be nice to see him back out at the track. But thank you to Austin Penny for being the first guest tonight on the show. And we want to keep this train going, so we're gonna go up a little bit, head over to our good buddy out of Brampton, Ontario, and Billy Zardo. Not sure what's up in terms of plans for this year for him, but let's hear. He just became a new father, and so it's a really, really great time for him. Let's visit with our good friend Billy Zardo and hear what he has to say about his 2024 season. All right, back here on ONTrack Weekly. We're still glitchy today, still dealing with it. It's because it's sunny out. The internet doesn't know how to work because it's beautiful outside today. But
That's right. We should be outside, not
we should be
inside.
outside, right? We got to have Big Daddy himself here. It's Billy Zardo here on the show. Billy, big congratulations. You got not a race car at home, but you got a little something special at home right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been great keeping us up on our toes, that's for sure. But we've been enjoying every second of it. That's for
Not
sure.
keeping you up though, eh?
Here and there. I mean, you sleep when you can, and you kind of rotate around his schedule right now for sure.
Well, that's amazing. It's good stuff. And we're heading into this racing season. We're not sure when we're gonna see you racing. What's the plans right now? I know we had talked during our shop tour with Stickers and Scuffs, and you had said, it'll probably be some time away. As you want to be there for the family time. That's most important. But potentially you'll see the Pro laid out a couple of times.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it's not me behind the wheel, probably my brother's gonna take it out a couple times for sure. As of right now, our plan is definitely hitting up opening night, May 4th. First and foremost, though, I want to stop and say big thank you to McCall Racing for getting the startup done on the new car and bringing this thought to life. And beyond those guys, my brother and the pit crew have really stepped up huge because obviously I haven't really been to the shop too much. But without those guys, we wouldn't even be thinking about racing this year. So the team led by my brother has really come a long way and done some amazing things to this car. And we're excited to get it out onto the track.
It's been a bit of a long off season. I mean, it really is. Last year, things were a little bit tough for you. You had a couple of highlights though last year, obviously, and I'm still holding out hope that we'll see you in the OSS events. Not sure what's going to happen with that, but after the year that you had last year, coming back, getting this opportunity with a brand new car and having a brand new baby at home, all of a sudden luck can change really quickly, eh?
Yeah, let's hope the luck turns for the best. I mean, last year was, as you said, very up and down year. We were at some very low points last year, dealing with the first year, first off with the loss of my grandfather and him not around at the racetrack, and my brother kind of taking on a much bigger role in the shop as part of a leader, as well as myself kind of forming into that and kind of taking on a different sort of role as a different type of leader in the shop. So I think between myself and my brother and the pit crew to follow, we did a real good job at being able to compete for season points at least. We had that bad crash at the beginning, which ripped us down, came back fighting strong. And then about halfway through the year, we had that big fire. So
Yeah.
there was just a whole bunch of stuff. But I mean, then we topped off the last three races of the year, myself and then two with my brother at Flamborough and Peterborough, fourth, and fourth, I believe it was. So, I mean, you're always going out there to win, but with such a up and down year, 3/4 is amazing, right? So,
Yeah.
all in all, last year's season looking back on it, was really good. It was a stepping stone for me and my brother and the pit crew to form together, and we came out with a bang. That's for sure.
Well, and this year, obviously, like we said, you're not sure what the plans are going to entail for you. Do maybe a couple specials, like we said, the Slaughter, possibly the Hanley. Maybe we even see the Hot Rod out at some point. You got your grandfather's got two classics each year. He gets the classic at Flamborough and he gets the classic at Sunset. And what's awesome this year is not just is the Zardo Classic going to have a Sunset regulars, but it's going to have Oscar. You're going to have half and half. And for your grandfather, I'm sure you've got to absolutely be loving what you're seeing. People going in, and we're throwing in stickers and scuffs. Going to be throwing in. We've got 2 laps. We got 4 and 6 in honor
Awesome.
of Grandpa, and it's got to be so cool to see that you guys get to continue to build on his legacy. Last year, you guys for the memorial gave out old trophies of your grandfather. What an amazing idea to give to those who got on the podium. That's got to have been something that you guys. I mean, I'm not sure who came up with the decision, but that is a brilliant call.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I believe my brother and Brian Todish were talking about it. And then it went through the proper hands, and we were able to round up a whole bunch of trophies. So that's something special. I mean, we obviously still have a whole whackload of my grandfather's trophies that we keep, as you've seen for the shop tour there.
He's
Um, yeah, but
got a lot. He
yeah,
wins a
yeah, yeah,
lot.
yeah. He well, he was no stranger to victory lane, that's for sure. But giving those trophies away, we were very happy to see the people who have won them, the cherish that they're going to have, and to be able to say this was Bill Zardo Senior's trophy. I mean, to me, I've heard so many stories, but beyond the stories, he was just Grandpa,
Yeah.
right? He was
Yeah.
Grandpa Bill, and he was the ASS hole who would come out to the shop and say, "What the heck are you guys doing? And you're doing it wrong, and this, that, and the
Yeah.
other." But to so many people, he was a legend and heroes, and he'll always be the hero to me and my brother for sure. But yeah, I mean, we're still trying to figure out life without him at times,
Yeah.
and it's always going to continue to be that way. But there's a lot more smiles now when we think about him.
Well, and that's definitely it, right? I mean, I definitely we were there. You just feel the presence, and we Graydon and I when we went to experience the shop tour, we just kind of we lost it after we left, and we were talking about it, like holy crap, we were just standing in Bill Zardo's garage, like we were there, and then now you guys have these tribute shows, which is obviously huge. I still, for one, love the hot rods. So if that thing comes out, I think we got to get Sharon to drive it. Just saying, Sharon's got to come out and do something with that. I mean, just once. But for yourself this year, what would make a good season? Because obviously the biggest treasure that you've got is at home right now. So,
Yep.
what is it that you want to get out of the racing season?
You know what? I just want to pick up pick up a handful of top fives whenever we show up, and always be ready. I mean, I think the main focus this year is because we're not running for points. It's a different strategy going into every
Yeah.
weekend. Um, Normally it's a rush to get ready for next weekend on Sunday, right after the races. This year it's going to be a little bit different with you know, managing your time proper. For myself, it's going to be managing my time between home and when I can get to the shop. But it's all basically going to be riding on. I'm going to give him 100% of it, my brother, and then the pit crew on what we do this year for the amount of shows we do.
Mhm.
Um, and it's basically going to come down to you're going to be more prepared showing up to each race because you're not trying to get to every single event. Saying that, I mean, you're not going to have as much track time as everybody else throughout the end of the year. So it's kind of a different strategy that we're gonna attempt and see how it goes.
Well, and that's the thing that I'm really excited about seeing is that you guys kind of are regrouping, and we've seen how that works. It works for people when they go and they take a step back, and then all of a sudden come out like you haven't seen in a while. And that's the other thing too, is you guys got this new piece from McCall Racing Enterprises, and that we might be underestimating. People might be underestimating the power of McCall Racing because all of a sudden now you got that new piece in there and you got that new drive. I'm just saying, your young one's definitely looking for his first trophy in his room, right? So that wouldn't be too bad to get a trophy in little man's room, but it's got to feel a little different going to the racetrack this year for you, going in with a pride of joy coming along with you. Not sure if he's going to be at the racetrack just yet, right? With all that noise out
Yeah,
there.
not just yet. Not
Not
just
just
yet.
yet.
Well, we might get him at the end of the year over there. It all depends. I mean, obviously, the very first thing I want is for his little ears to develop because he's gonna need to know when there's a car on the outside of him if he ever races, right?
The
But
truth.
coming back to that, no, there's definitely something different. I mean, people have said, "Oh, it's going to change your life," but you don't realize it until you go through it. And so, well, I'm super pumped with how everything's going this year with me and my family at home, and super pumped with how my brother's handling the new role as head crew chief and everything else in between. It's just it's been up and down, and we're gonna just continue to keep fighting, right?
And you know what? I get more and more excited the more and more I think about racing's coming back because we get to see more Debbie Joe photos.
Yeah.
That's the one of the highlights. I use Debbie Joe photos all the time because they're the best of the best. So it is it's an honor to always get to chat with you, Billy. And obviously we had to wrap you right. Uh
Ah.
not to suck up much or anything like that. Billy, I want to thank you for taking some time and joining us here on OnTrack Weekly.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And you guys enjoy yourself.
Thank you. That's Billy Zardo. Best of luck in 2024. Billy's one of my favorite people to talk with in racing. We've been very upfront and very honest about the situation that they're in this year. And, you know, sometimes you do have to regroup. You have to look at what you can do and what you can't do. And at the end of the day, the family is the most important thing. And for himself, obviously, you don't want to miss those crucial days. And if it's elective to be at the track and to be racing and or spending time with your kid, you know, I don't think anybody would disagree on the opportunity there to be there for those moments. And you know, we see how the racing community is, and you know, his brother Lane's got the reins of Zardo Racing this year, and we'll see kind of what happens. And it's exciting to hear that they've got a new piece and see what they can do this year and the limited starts that they're going to make. But you know, I'm for one, I definitely want to see the hot rod out there for an opportunity. Hopefully, maybe it makes it a show, one of the memorial races. That certainly would be a really big moment for sure. But thank you to Billy, Big Daddy, Billy Zardo, for coming on and chatting with me. And it'll be nice to see that 46 out on the track once again in 2024. Well, we're going to switch gears a little bit and move to a little more classic of a division, and that is the Oscar Hot Rods presented by JRS Auctions. And CTE Racing's Connor Ellis is back once again in 2024 in that division. It didn't end the way they were hoping for. Unfortunately, a crash at the end of the season at Delaware pretty much made things decided for this year as to what was going to happen. But we'll let Connor talk about it and hear what's going on with him as we get into the 2024 season. And Connor is definitely somebody who, I don't know, I guess I'd say he comes off very unassuming, very quiet, But when you get talking with him, man, he's so interesting and such a good personality, and he's a damn good racer. And there's a lot of people that have said that he's somebody that you need to watch in the Oscar Hot Rod series. So let's bring on Connor Ellis and let's chat with him about what's going on in 2024. Back here on ONTrack Weekly, privileged to be joined by Oscar Hot Rod Series competitor Connor Ellis, back again for another season in Oscar. Connor, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Great. Excellent. We're almost at the end of the off season, man. How has it been for you? It's definitely been a long time since you were last on track.
Well, it has been a while. I've been doing lots of sim racing as of late just to try and keep the edge on and just have the headspace ready. So far it's going all right.
Well, that's the hope, man. It's you guys got to come back in couple weeks and get going, and you're going to be what's the plan for this year? I know I said Oscar Hot Rod. I assume you're going to go do the full season again this year.
I sure am.
All right. So what are we looking at this year? You guys definitely had a. Can I say it was a tough year last year, Connor? Because it looked like it was.
Oh, you can definitely say that. At times, I won't lie. At times, I was thinking that would be an understatement.
Yeah. And you definitely ended the season kind of in the toughest way possible. In the car that you had last year, I believe is it on the hook now, and you've got yourself a new piece for this year?
Yes, that one that I had at the beginning of the season is no longer with me. It's in 100 different pieces in a junkyard now.
So what's the car that you got for this year, Connor? Where did it come from, and what are we going to look at? Is the body the same this year? You going to go with the Chevelle still?
Yes, it'll still be the same body, but the underside is much better than anything I've had so far. It's a couple-year-old late model chassis from the States from Firewall back with a brand new Hemkey front clip on it, and I am itching to get this thing on track.
Oh man, it's exciting stuff, man. That's great. I didn't know that's where the car came from, and obviously the last couple of years, like you said, really raced a lot of stuff. So, the plan this year just to stick with the hot rod. You're going to do a couple bone stock here or there, or basically just kind of stick to one.
I I have a couple offers poking at me to come do a race here or there, and I'm thinking I might take one or two. It's always fun to try something else.
Well, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's definitely something that keeps you, like you said, fresh before. And Oscar Hot Rods, you guys got to do something to try and catch that beast in that number 2 car, because he's done a pretty good job at winning championships over the last couple of years. And as far as it looks right now, they might be coming back to do the exact same thing and go for number 5. But talk about the guys that you got to go in and face each and every week in the Oscar Hot Rod Series, because it is a very competitive group of racers.
Oh, well, you're absolutely right about that. Between all of the talent and determination in this division that I have to race against every single weekend, it is incredible to always get to see everyone drive and how they drive their car. So, for example, Tyler Hahn, his car is almost always dialed in. He's almost always a top 5 car, even on a bad night. And then there's Steve Book, where he is very consistent. He's cool-minded. He's always able to be there no matter what. Bromley, he's talented. He's got the car to do it, and he's the driver to do it. Just the entire top 5 is always just incredible drivers. There's Nick Clark. There's plenty of others. I can't even think of all the names right now, but they're all flooding past. I'm hoping I can put my name up there into the top 5 a couple times this year, if not better.
Well, that's exactly it. Last year, you had kind of a breakout race. Even you had on the dirt, and not even in your own car. You were out there in I believe it was Ralph Book's 64 car, and I don't know what happened, but you just had like one heck of a weekend. Is it just that you're a dirt racer at heart, or what?
I've been trying to figure out what happened there. I mean, that car is very good there. Those leaf spring cars do hook amazingly on dirt. So the car definitely had something to do with it. And I had put a couple of good tires on the rear of it just to get me a little extra bite off. So between that and I've been doing a lot of practicing for throttle control specifically for the dirt and all that before the race, just planning ahead and getting ready for it. So there's always lots of factors to get ready for everything.
Well, and this off season like we talked about, it is so long between when you guys finish up and when we get started again. And is there any plans to go out and do some testing prior to the start of the Oscar racing season, or are you guys just going to go for it from race one?
Well, I would like to get out for a bit of practice, but we're kind of starting to fall behind on schedule with the car because one step forward, two steps back, but it's coming together. The body's pretty much fully onto it now. The bumpers are on. Just all the little stuff now is left.
Well, and you have a lot of opportunity this year again to showcase and impress. Last year you put on a beautiful tribute for Bill Zardo with the 48 in the style of the Zardo Racing a font. What's the look? Do you have an idea as what the car is going to look like this year? Because you've had the blue look, and you know me, I love the looks of race cars, and I love when things change and look a little bit different. So any hints that you can give me as to what you're going for this year?
I've never had a car this color.
Okay. Pink
Yes.
it is. Pink it is.
No, no, not
Never. So
well,
this is exciting because you go with I mean, you typically have the 48. Are you going to stick with a Zardo-esque font, or are you going to go back to a traditional like the Jimmy Johnson Hendrick font?
we'll probably go back to a traditional one.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I'm guessing, Connor, that it's a tribute to Jimmy Johnson, but I don't know. Maybe it's an Alex Bowman. I don't know. Uh,
You never know.
you never know. I really don't. And this year, we talked about like which is the track that you're excited to go to. Obviously, all of the tracks provide something, but I would expect Brighton is probably the place that you're looking forward to getting back to. But what's one that you've got circled on your calendar?
So Brighton is in the top three.
Okay.
I, Surprisingly, I am really excited to go back to Sunset. I'm
Okay.
everything I got for that race.
I'm
So,
okay for that. I definitely want to see it because you guys, and that's the thing, you guys this year are doing Sunset Hot Rods versus Oscar Hot Rods. What a great idea. I love that you guys are going to battle with the weekly racers out at Sunset.
oh yeah, that's definitely going to have the trouble for us because we're not going to be consistent or constantly going there. So we won't have a dialed or close to setup necessarily. So I'm figuring I might have to take a weekend or two and go visit.
I think you definitely should. I'd be okay if you came for opening weekend. That would be great. I don't get to see you race that often, so that would be a real cool thing to see. But Connor, obviously you have the opportunity to go out and race because of some people that put the time and effort into your race vehicle each and every week, and you have some partners as well that help you out. So I'm wondering if you would be able to give us a little bit of those names and shout them out just like we do on the Stickers and Scuffs podcast because they're the ones that get you to the racetrack each and every week.
Well, let's hear. I have to give a huge thank you to my dad, Cleveland Ellis, because he's been in the shop every single day that he can, just helping out. I've got to give a thank you to my stepmom for occasionally bringing dinner out when I'm sitting out there at 10 o'clock at night after work and I haven't eaten since breakfast. So it's just my family, my friends, and everybody. They're great. Then there's my sponsors of Butterworths, Napa, RFK Paralegal Service, PC 275 with Tracy Ellis. And there might be one more coming too. I'm not sure if we want to announce it yet.
Yeah, we don't want to announce it and count our chickens before they hatch, though, right? Like we want to make sure that they get on the car and support you all season long, Connor. And obviously, we're huge fans of you, and we can't wait to see how you do all season long. And there's going to be some opportunities. Actually, you'll be able to catch Connor Ellis live here on GeForce, not on GeForce TV, but on Racing America by GeForce TV. Racing America is going to be on U.S. television. Again, Connor Ellis, that's really cool that you'll be able to showcase your talents for a whole bunch of race fans, not just Canadians.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Hopefully I can put on a good show for them.
It'll be good. I think getting a career victory #1 in the Oscar Hot Rod Series in front of a big crowd on Racing America sounds like a great plan. Connor Ellis, thank you so much for joining me today. Have yourself a great season and best of luck.
Thank you very much for having me, Cam. You as well.
He's somebody that I think really has a lot of potential, is Connor Ellis. And again, the fact that other names have already mentioned him, racers that are in that division, that are veteran racers have already talked about it. And I'm excited to see what the look of the car is going to be this year too. They haven't missed so far on that 48 for Connor Ellis. And I want to thank him for coming on CTE Racing as well. We'll end this show today. We'll add a little bit as we head to Full Throttle, and to talk Varney with a guy who I've just recently got to know, and the guy is absolutely one just ton of fun, and that's Nathan Detweiler. We had him on the podcast a couple episodes ago, and immediately I just, you gravitate to good personalities and people who are just so good for the sport in terms of what they promote and how they act and how their enthusiasm shows. And he is one of those guys. Nathan Detweiler is going to join me, and we'll talk with him about what's going on for 24, what's going up at Varney. Lots of great stuff that they're doing up at that track. All right, back here on ONTrack Weekly. We don't have a ton of guests from Varney, but we had to get a champion from last year. He did it in quite a fashion like no other. Nathan Detweiler joins me here on the show. Nathan, how are you doing, my friend?
A little tired today, but I'll survive. Got to go work on the race car after this is done. Try and get it ready because it's coming up, and I got to get 2 cars ready. So
yeah, exactly. We talked about this last couple weeks ago when you were on the show. Racing season is coming up really quick, and the off season that was so very, very long is now so very, very short. And you guys have got to get going. What are the plans looking like for you in NA racing for 2024?
So the plans for us here at our team, we got 2 street stocks entered with me driving the number 18, Dave Francis driving the number 68. We have 2 bone stock entries. So we have Jeff Rumble in the number 42. And then we have Keegan, oh my God. Morgan. Why did I have such a brain fart? Holy, it's definitely Sunday. Keegan Morgan in his number 09 bone stock. Peyton Lewis, I think he's doing a part-time schedule with the bone stocks. I'm not sure if he's doing a full-time or part-time schedule with his bone stock yet, but he's for sure doing a full-time schedule in his number 16 mini stock. So he's going to have some fun with that. He's got a nice new car, and he's really happy to go out there and hopefully learn a lot and be fast and be up front.
Sounds like a really busy season for you. So what have you guys been up to? Because obviously it's definitely a lot of work that you guys got to put in getting these cars set up. First off, and May 4th is, like you said, we're under a month now.
No. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
under a month till the season opener.
Stop reminding me.
Yeah, it is though, and so the expectations obviously a little bit different for you this year. You are not going to be back in the bone stock division after winning the championship. You are moving up, going to the street stock series, or street stock division out at Varney. So let's talk a little bit about that division. What do we see in the street stocks? What type of cars are we talking about?
So these are all just mostly metric chassis cars, fairly stock, like that's the name's there, but they're not stock like they used to be. Like basically 25 years ago, they used to be basically you smash the windows out, you put in a seat and a cage and some belts, and that's about it. Now, obviously, over the years, they've progressed. They've got to a 602 grade engine. They're running slicks or race tires instead of street tires. They're running race rims instead of street rims. allowing a little bit more modification to the suspensions, a little bit more modification to basically the whole chassis. But all in all, it's still a stock frame is there. It's not a full tube chassis front to back. It still has a stock frame there. It's just built off of that. And then you mostly run off your coil spring or leaf spring cars, where Varney, it caters to both. I think leaf spring cars still have an advantage. Unfortunately, I'm running a coil spring car, but that's where the leaf spring cars have a slight advantage to it. So I've heard. I'm about to learn. We're going to find out. I personally don't know, but just over the years, seeing the Camaros being usually the top dog cars in the street stock class. So,
well, and you're heading into this new battle. Like, luckily, you'll have a teammate in there, Dave Francis.
Yeah,
Dave,
oh yeah.
Dave's done it for a bit, so he knows how to race in that division. Obviously, what are the feelings heading into it? I mean, you're coming in as a champion from last year, so obviously, I would assume you're feeling on a pretty good note, right?
I'm going into a class that I've never raced before. I mean, yeah, I've raced hot rods, but that's still different. It's a different entity. But I'm going in with learning expectations. This whole season for me is just going to be learning, trying to make the car faster, trying to try different things out to see what works, what doesn't. And luckily, I got Dave to come there with me, and we'll learn together. We got 2 cars, so instead of trying one thing in a night, we'll try 2 separate things in one night and see what works for each of us. And I'm not expecting a win this year. I'm not expecting a great finish. I got to keep my expectations low, because it very well could go not terrible all season, but might not work out for me just because I'm entering a new class and I'm learning as I go.
Well, and the thing that we want people to go to every racetrack and across Ontario. Like, that's the reality. We want people to show up, support the racers, no matter what track. And Varney, we talked about several times in previous conversations that it is a different animal altogether than a lot of these racetracks. A lot smaller of a venue, a lot smaller of a track, a lot of tighter confines than a lot of the tracks that we go to on a regular basis. So for those that don't know Varney Speedway very well, what would you say about it?
About the track itself, it's very different. You come in there and you can set your car up to be fast in one corner and it won't work for you in the next corner, or vice versa. It'll be slow in this corner but faster in that corner. Or there are guys that are out there that they have it figured out of getting fast in both, and it's doable. It takes time, it takes practice, and it takes dedication to get it figured out. So these guys coming from other tracks are only trying Varney every once in a while. Unless they've done it for a really long time, they're not. I don't want to say they're not going to figure it out, but it's going to be a lot harder for them to figure out, and they're going to consider the track difficult and undrivable and everything else. In all reality, it's just you got to put the time into it. This track takes dedication, and that's why the Varney guys love it, because they know it, they breathe it, they live it.
It's definitely true. And I mean, we've seen it. There is a couple, I believe, in invitationals again this year, which we've seen in the past. Our good buddy Graydon Bunn has been part of those invitationals and has talked about how insane of a track that Varney is. And you guys do things, like I said, a little bit different.
Yep, it is a lot
track.
different.
Yeah, it's a very, very different types of race fan type of facility. As every track that we go to is unique. But what we say for one thing is that they don't mess around there. They love their racing. The fan base is absolutely rabid. And we have
the best fans, just the dedication and the enthusiasm. Like when you look up in the crowd and you're standing in victory lane, like it's awesome. Like there's definitely support there from the fans, and we need that, because without them, we wouldn't have a place to be racing. So we got to make sure we know that they are noticed with their support.
And that's exactly it, right? We've talked about it several times. And you know what? I'm excited this year because Varney, of course, Paul's been working on that place.
Oh yeah,
for a lot of time now.
Yeah,
and he's coming in a couple years now that he's been at the helm.
I think this is coming into his third full year.
Full year.
2021 was his first full commitment year. So this will be coming into his third year, and honestly, he's doing a great job. Awesome job.
That's what you want to hear, right?
Yeah, he's hammered down.
And you know what? The improvements consistent. And you know what? I think what I really like, and what we've seen is Paul's been very upfront at what he's doing.
Yep, he's open. He's telling you everything. Yeah. He's like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. If it's going to work, it's going to work. If it doesn't, it doesn't." And he's not going to sugarcoat nothing. He's just, it is what it is, and he's going to try it.
Well, and that as a racer there, We talked to a lot with the racers up at Sunset Speedway, and Sunset's, I think, one of those tracks that we can say that they're pretty much they're leading the pack when it comes to promotional stuff that they're doing. But I would
Yeah.
argue that you guys have done you're getting there as well in terms of promotion. The team at Varney really does put in a lot of effort in making your track and your facilities, not just that, but the events big and making them worth something.
This track is worth every bit of the big events. I think we can put on just as good of a show as Sunset. Obviously, Sunset has a lot of time and dedication into theirs. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a really long time, and they've been very good at it. Paul's been learning as he goes, and we're trying, but I still think we got the momentum to keep it going and get into a bigger event really quick. And well, the memorial race, we've packed all the memorial races into one night. So it's one memorial night of all the races or all the classes. And I think that's a really great idea. Then you get all the big cars there in one night, have one big night of racing.
Well, you guys have a lot of unique too. You have unique divisions. We've talked
Yeah.
about this, and I think people that might not know watching here on OnTrack Weekly, you're going to see different divisions at this track that you will not see at those other tracks.
Yeah.
You guys have Thunder trucks. You have sprints. You have the pro sprint cars. You have crazy trains, which no one else in the province does. And yes, they are crazy for sure. Definitely crazy. What is it about the track itself and those divisions that you think people need to see? Because obviously I'm going to go out and say the crazy trains, you need to come and see those. Those are like nothing else, because you are a previous crazy train competitor.
I am. I will not be returning back to the class this year. I will be in 2025. Is taking a break from it right now. But yeah, crazy trains. It's pure excitement from green flag to checkered flag. There's no reason not to see it. Like if you're not going to the Varney, or if you're going to Full Throttle Speedway, you're going there to watch the trains. Everybody says that, and that's what you're there to see. It's just pure excitement and fun, entertainment. Awesome. The Thunder trucks, probably some of the best drivers out there. Jason Vale going undefeated championship back to back. But he's got guys coming up that they want to see the king fall in a respectful way. They want to do it because they want to beat the best. And Jason Vale is the best. You got guys coming up in these trucks that they're building in the off season. And believe me, I've seen some of them, and they are ready to take on the king. And it's going to make for an awesome series this summer in the Thunder Truck division. And then the pro sprints, they're just crazy fast, like nuts. And like I kind of want to drive it, but at the same time, like when you wreck, like you're just a bouncy ball on the track. Like you're not stopping it. Once it starts, it's just going to bounce, and you're just along for the ride. But it's definitely a division I want to try. I don't understand, I don't really understand them that well. I never really got a chance to talk to the drivers or any of the guys building the chassis, what they're like. I would assume it's like driving a go-kart on steroids, but I'm not entirely sure.
The one thing that I have gotten a lot of attention to recently, thanks to our podcast and getting to know some of the racers, is the mini truck division that runs out at Varney Speedway and the junior late models. And you guys have had such amazing
car counts on those have been just in the last season. I think we doubled the truck count.
Yes.
And we almost doubled the junior late model count from 2022 to 2023.
And the momentum,
it's amazing.
Momentum is everything in motorsports. And the fact that you guys are seeing these counts, Paul had already come out in, I think it was January, and said that they were already seeing record growth. Not only that, you've got a beefed up late model division coming in as the Ontario Late Model Association.
Yep.
They're using all these old late models that really, they don't have a home aside.
All these cars sitting in garages. Like, well, we don't really have a division. Like, we can't enter the AP series. We just said we won't be competitive, and we got to spend all this money. Not that the AP series is bad. It's just you got guys that are just a lower financial budget.
Yep.
And the OLMA division is a perfect home for them, and it's a perfect track to be opening up at full throttle. Hopefully more tracks get involved. They can make it more of a traveling series, but if they don't, oh well, we'll have an awesome division right here at home at full throttle.
Well, and that's the hope, really. And you continuously and we talked about it with OSS on a couple of other episodes, where essentially that's a division where those cars, that's a great home for them. Old Pinty's cars, old cast car race cars, sure, they could be used for hot rods. But I think you got definite home for those
Yeah.
cars there, and it's the same thing. Late models that are old and they can't run at certain places, well, there you got a home now, and
They got a
that's
home
all
now.
about
It's gonna be
reusing.
it's going to be a great competitive series. I think a lot of great names coming back, a lot of new names coming into a late model division, and it honestly it hit this whole series took off with a whole lot of momentum. I'm excited to see what it's going to do on opening night. Well, I guess their opening night. I'm not sure exactly the date. I want to say it's in June. I don't think it's in May.
It's no, yeah, it's not. It's definitely not the first weekend.
Yeah,
At Varney, but you got yourself all excited for this year. You got lots of
absolutely.
stuff that you have to do, but obviously, Nathan, one of the things you want to go for is a win. Who you got to beat in the street stock division to get a win this year? Because I know the field is tight.
Mark King's always fast. Drew's always fast. You got a lot of guys coming up from other divisions too. It's gonna be tough. Like I can't name one person individually. I can't. But hopefully it's gonna be me being a top guy. There's a little piece of me that wants it, but I know I gotta put a lot of work in, a lot of trial and error, and there's gonna be fast guys I gotta get around, and I want to get around them hard and fast and clean. And hopefully we can have some good door-to-door racing all summer long and put on a good show for the fans. That's my number one goal.
We want people here on OnTrack Weekly to be able to follow your process, your progress all season long with your team and your racing. How can they do that on social media?
Right now, I'm really trying to hammer down on the YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, type in NA Racing 5316, it'll take you right to the YouTube channel. They can hit me up on Instagram as well. Just type in NA Racing, they'll find it. And we also have a Facebook page. If you either look me up on Facebook and you can look up NA Racing through that way, or just type it in, and they can get me through there. And I'm going to try and do my best to keep up on all the social media so that way we can keep fans that may not be able to make it every weekend, at least keep them updated in some way, shape, or form. And then also with the YouTube, give just the whole track and all the drivers a platform so people can come and see. I'm not going to focus it just on my team. I'm just going to try and do an entire generalization of racing at Full Throttle Speedway. So I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet. I might just do like this weekend we'll focus on trucks, this weekend we'll focus on trains, this weekend we'll focus on mini trucks. I don't know. I'm going to do something and it's going to be big, and I'm hoping to make it as big as possible so that way Full Throttle gets the platform it deserves for some of the best damn racing in Ontario.
Couldn't say it better than that. Nathan Detweiler, thank you for joining me here on OnTrack Weekly.
Awesome. Good to have you.
I think you can tell just from that little bit of that interview why Nathan Detweiler has become one of my favorites to talk to. Such a great representation for not just racing, but especially for Full Throttle and Varney. And I love seeing and hearing about and seeing really the passion that he has and being able to talk. He's so in tune with what's happening up at the track there, and I'm really excited to see how he and the entire team do this year, making that switch over. And, congratulations to the team at Full Throttle. They've done an amazing job improving the facility and continuing to build and grow. Excited to see what he'll do out in that number 70 Studebaker for Black Magic Racing, and then obviously in his own street stock this year. So just want to say thank you to every single one of our guests: Nathan Detweiler, Connor Ellis, Billy Zardo, and Austin Penny. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you can, share, give us a thumbs up. If it's on the live stream, that works too. Let me know in the comments when you watch OnTrack Weekly. Do you watch it on replay or do you watch it live? And I want to know if things are good. If we wish you have some other improvements to make to the show, that would be great. Have yourselves a good rest of the week. Make sure you tune in for Race Rivals Race Chat tomorrow here only on GeForce TV.